Hello everybody and welcome back to another amazing episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in today's video we are going to be taking a first look at FSRealistic. That's right, FSRealistic from the makers of XPRealistic. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. All right, you guys, so first let's talk about what FSRealistic is. Now, from those of you who are familiar with it, it is the now new counterpart, if you will, to XPRealistic. It's from the same developers. Now, with that in mind, a quick disclaimer that they definitely wanted me to make sure to pass on to you guys. XPRealistic had the ability to do camera shakes and camera adjustments based on G-forces and things like that. It is very important that you guys remember that although this is a desired feature, currently in the Microsoft Flight Simulator SDK, it is an unavailable feature. It's impossible to do based on the current SDK. So, assuming this comes along down the road later on as well as some other desired features, we will be able to see that. But at the moment, it's primarily a sound adjustment. We do get some vibration, things like that they've tried to manipulate, and we're going to check all that out. So for those of you who are unaware of what either one of these are, let's talk about what that is for a second. It's an incredible immersion enhancement application. Everything, like I said, from if we were referencing XPRealistic, it'd be everything from sounds to vibration, head movement based on turn and bank and G's and bounce. And you wouldn't think that it offers as much as it does, but sound is so much when it comes to immersion, first off. And then when you add other things, like I said, like the vibration, things like that, especially in virtual reality and with the leaps that virtual reality has taken, sound is everything else outside of that. I mean, it really is. So what we're going to do to demonstrate some of the features that are available to this is first we're going to do a default start of the Cessna 172 here. We're going to taxi down the runway. We're going to take her up in the air, and then we're going to come literally back around and land. And I know that may sound boring and a lot of you want to jump right into it, but I highly recommend that you guys watch the whole video along with me. I'm going to do this very, very quickly. I'm not caring about winds. I'm not caring about altitude, things like that. My flying is probably going to be uglier than dog you-know-what, because that's not the purpose and not what I'm trying to get at. And I want to save as much time as possible as I'm sitting here yapping my face off. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get into the first segment. All right, so like I said, I'm not caring about much, so we're just going to do a auto start. Pay attention to all the sounds. It is so important. I love how the parking brakes are never on anymore. So I'm going to rev up the engine. Set our altimeter pressure since I'm here. Do a quick check here. We do want beacon lights on, nav lights, taxi light, blah, blah, blah. Now, through the remainder of this process, I'm going to stay relatively quiet. I know that's a shock, and I'm going to do my best to restrain myself. Maybe I'll mute the microphone. But I do want you guys to listen to a few things as we taxi. I want you to listen to the brakes. I want you to listen to the wheel roll. I want you to pay attention to the aircraft sounds, cockpit sounds, ambient sounds around us. As we start taking off, same thing. Really pay attention to the airframe noise. Are we hearing wind against the airplane? As the engine spools up, watch for any kind of ambient effect against the airframe of the aircraft. Vibration, shakes, things like that, right? These are all things that we're going to be watching for because these are things, or listening for specifically, because these are things that are going to make a huge difference when we go to try it again with the application running. So here we go. All right, real quick now as we get ready to take off, guys, I want you to make sure that you guys watch until the end of the video, as I also have a surprise coming for you guys at the very end, so stay with me. Alright, so now we're in the flight phase, so we'll be listening to any kind of wind variation or wind effect against the airframe of the aircraft, things like that. And I'm absolutely doing an improper pattern. Again, don't judge. Not what I'm looking for on this video. Just trying to give you guys as many sounds to hear as you can. Alright, so be listening to all of the landing sounds as I complete this incredibly ugly landing. And that's how you know that I didn't follow ATIS. Hi, bud. Okay, so now we're going to reset and we're going to try this out with the application now. Okay, so while I'm getting the application up and running, I want to remind everyone that as of the moment, I don't have a cost of software. It is releasing to Simmarket, Aerosoft. I'll get you guys all the links down in the description below of where you guys can buy it. There's 4 different sites that this aircraft or this software will be purchased from. Again, it's releasing either Sunday night or a Monday morning. So in just a few days here. This is an early release version of it that the developers were kind enough to share with me. All right, so nope, that's wrong one. That's FSRealistic. Okay. Again, remember that. There you go. Lets you know that it's connected. Again, it's very important to remember that right now camera shake is not available, but they found certain ways around it. Now, we can go to profile and you can see that it's already got the Cessna 172 assigned here, and certain things as we start to come down a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Brake 2 is already selected. Cockpit ambience 3 is already selected. Crash screaming. Engine start. We got vibration and engine movement number 7. There's a whole list of these. Now, I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to walk you guys through. We're just basically going to start it up as it is and see what kind of difference we get. Okay, but you can see that there's definitely some changes. Okay, for example, flaps lever. Okay. Flaps drag. Things like that. Let's see here. Flap stress. And look what's doing the camera. Like they tried, man. They really made something happen here. Really awesome stuff here. Float splash. That's something that we've been missing, right? How cool is that, right? And we can turn the sounds off with this tick here. Obviously, we would not want a float splash here. Gear drag. Now again, we're probably not going to hear much of that. That's probably why it's turned off for the Cessna. So we'll turn that off. Ground effect. We'll turn it up a bit. And that may sound funny right in this instance, but you got to remember when you're hearing all the other sounds buried behind it, right? Ground roll. Okay. Let's just do a couple here. You guys catch the gist. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move this off of camera here, and let's just walk through the exact same process. All right, so here we go. So the first thing that I noticed right off the bat, guys, the engine startup sound was different. Okay, it's completely different. You heard more of that whine, right? So just first thing that caught my attention. So let's go ahead and get on out of here. Okay, so right off the bat, I really hope that the sound is coming well through for you guys. But you could hear a massive difference in the tire roll. You could see the cockpit sort of shaking, which is, like I said, given the fact that the SDK does not support a camera shake, the fact that they were able to put in some kind of vibration, something to sort of give us the immersion that you know, as the propeller increases, started shaking up the plane a little bit, is really amazing work. Absolutely fantastic job. So I noticed the shaking or vibration, if you will. I noticed the sound changes against the airframe as the propeller accelerated. The ground roll, as the tires were rolling across the ground. Definitely some major increases, as well as a little bit more squeak, a little bit more rumbling and chattering, quote unquote, if you will, from the cockpit itself, right? Things shaking, bouncing. So now let's go ahead and go through the takeoff. All right, so once again, significantly more noise being generated from the cockpit. A lot more intensity in the wheel roll as we started to accelerate and really get faster and faster and faster. Hearing all the squeaking and rattling that started to come with the cockpit really makes a huge difference, guys. And this is just on the monitor. You know, I'm a real big avid proponent of sound in VR. Virtual reality, those kind of sounds against the virtual reality with the vibration, with the shaking, with the, you know, all the different environmental change that this application is bringing, is really going to turn virtual reality into something even more amazing than it already is. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with the flight phase. So, flaps. We're going to get some altitude and we're going to do a very dangerous low level stall. Flaps on. Power off. Okay, the scream, again though, the shaking, the twisting, the vibration, you could hear those wings just like being pulled and ripped in every direction, right? So I'm going to start us back up in the air so we can continue with that portion, but I hope you guys caught the reason why I did that. Right down to someone yelling as they're plummeting to the ground. Like, obviously, nothing that we'd ever want to happen, but again, a neat feature that was added. Okay, so we're airborne again. And I'll tell you right now that takeoff once again was very intense. I hope at the very least on that crash you guys listened to the sounds as the aircraft really sped up as we started diving down. But we're going to bring it around this time and go in for the landing so you guys can hear all of that once again. And again, I know horrible flying, horrible circuit. I know. Even when I say that, there's always somebody who's like, dude, why were you flying like crap? Like, I'm pretty sure I pointed that out, bro. All right, why are we losing so much airspeed? There she goes. That was weird. None of my controls were working. That was interesting. Anyway, all right. Hello. All right, so we're going to do a rapid landing here. Listen to those sounds. Nothing like we get from the default simulator. Those sounds are 150% different. Much more immersive. Everything from the tire squeak to the bang to the shock to the rattling, the vibration that we get. Very fantastic application, you guys. And as you saw, I adjusted nothing. I turned a few things up so you could hear them, but that was it. So this is just the default profile that comes for the Cessna 172. You have endless options here. Okay, almost endless. You know, cockpit ambience, different sounds that you can shake. There's the crash scream that we heard. You know, we can change that as we desire. Engine vibrations, flaps, drag, gear drag, ground effect, ground roll, landing claps. You know, over G, over speed, sneezing. Look at, we're keep going down, touchdown, etc. I mean, you guys can see all of these different options that you have available to you. You have a profile cloud that you can download. You can create your own profile and upload it or save it locally. There's a ton of options. It's going to be one of those applications that either you can just do plug and play, grab someone else's profile, use the default profile, whatever comes with it, and then boom, off you go. Or you can spend so much time really fine tuning those sounds to your liking, vibrations and ambient effect to your liking, which is really what flight simulation should be all about, is being able to dial these simulators in to what is the most realistic for you. And this application is one of the first ones that really brings us a touch of that, really gives us the option to truly customize the experience to what we are expecting, what our minds are wanting to hear. So again, links to 4 different locations that you guys will be able to purchase this. Now, again, it does not release until Sunday or Monday. Okay, I don't have a price point for you guys at this time, but I'll be doing another video about this probably tomorrow night as well, just to sort of make sure that, you know, I share with you guys what I've learned since then. So it should be a lot of fun. As far as a surprise for you guys, if you are a subscriber, okay, you must be a subscriber to YouTube. You must join the Discord found down in the description below. And at random on Monday, I will be picking a random subscriber and Discord member who DMs me. Okay, you got to send me a private message telling me that you're interested in and sending me your best screenshot. Okay, so let's back up. You must be a YouTube subscriber. you must be signed up to the Discord. You must send me personally your best MSFS screenshot telling me that you are interested in a free version of FSRealistic. And Monday afternoon, I will announce the winner of this drawing. Again, the developers were kind enough to give me one free license to hand out to one of you guys, and which I think is just absolutely fantastic. Because I'm telling you guys right now, these immersion softwares, easily 30, 40, 50 bucks, absolutely worth it. They're amazing. XPRealistic was a wonderful addition to X-Plane 11, and this is a wonderful addition to Microsoft Flight Simulator. So sound down, guys, in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you're excited and pumped up for this and ready for this. I definitely am. I am so grateful to the developers for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this, and I will catch you guys, as always, in the next one. Tomorrow, I will be at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base for Thunder and Lightning over Arizona. It is an air show, guys, so if you are in the Tucson area and you're going to the air show, be sure to hit me up on Discord. Once again, let me know you're going to be there, and hopefully we can hook up and shake hands. I wish you all a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next one.